You add to this other tools like cloud computing, big data, analytics, bots, machine learning software, and you take this into the whole different level. The real use of digital technology in campaign first started visibly during Obama era. Obama was the first one in 1992 really used in US digital technology to mobilize younger population. SMS in those days, texting. But the idea was to organize data. So you could categorize saying this is an area where African Americans live. These are women, age group of 18 to 25 or 25 to 50 or whatever. Mexican Americans, immigrants. And then you begin to focus and target those communities with specific messages. It worked well, mainly because of a lot of young people in his team. So Obama victory had a lot to do with younger population. I know my own daughter worked at that time and they were all excited about Obama. And they could never see the race. My generation in the US could see the race, but my children's generation were colorblind. They had no issue with African American. They saw him as a young candidate who was using modern technology and modern tools. It worked. It worked well. And then whole sort of companies saw a big business opportunity in campaign all over the world. Recently, Trump capitalized on digital media. I know a little bit about how and what they did. So I'd like to share with you and then talk about what we are doing to give you a flavor of how all of these things fit in. Trump basically took first $2 million and put into advertisement with Facebook. That was his first investment in digital media. From the results they saw, they got so excited that they collected $150 million just for ads on Facebook, Instagram, and one or two others. Through these ads, they started targeting. Again, zeroing in on big data, analytics, specific groups. And his strategy, to some extent, was similar to both these strategies. What was the strategy? Strategy was, there is enemy at the border. In that case, it was Mexican. And enemy also has people in the country, immigrants. Very similar. Modi says there is enemy at the border. Enemy has been there at the border for a long time. But all of a sudden, it has become an issue. There is no war. There is no big deal. Fine, whatever happened, happened. But anything you say, immediately everybody attacks you. And media is party code. You know, just before coming here, I was interviewed by a young man. And just jokingly I said, you have asked me 10 questions. And let me tell you, in the last 2 weeks, I have been interviewed by 100 people. All 100 have asked exactly the same 10 questions. First question would be, you were misquoted on Balakot. What is your view? Okay, I've been asked 100 times. Second question, what is the difference between Rajiv Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi? You work with both. So I said, don't you guys have some imagination? As if all 100 were given a template. Because their mindset still is working based on what they see and what is the current conversations. Keep current conversation alive as opposed to change the conversation. Second strategy Trump had, according to me, and this is my view, and I don't have to be right, is nobody knows anything. I have all the answers. Okay. Hillary Clinton is zero. Democratic Party didn't do anything. Same with Mr. Modi. Congress did nothing for 70 years. Come on, give me a break. How did we get from 2 million phones to 1.2 billion phones? How did we generate $150 billion worth of software export? How did we create space industry, atomic energy, milk revolution, eradicated polio, green revolution? A country of this size and magnitude has to do something. It's an insult to people of India saying nothing got done in 70 years. And I'm going to get everything done in 5 years. Same pattern with Trump. Trump would say everybody is incompetent, and he'll make a tweet and change somebody in the administration. This pattern, enemy at the border, everyone is incompetent, and I am a rag to riches. I am a char shop wala, I am a billionaire, and I have all the answers. And nobody else matters. In democracy, none of us ever thought this would work. Because democracy is all about taking everybody with you. It's about not I, it is about we. That's the fundamental of democracy. We will get things done. I cannot get anything done. But because of digital campaign, they could twist these facts. And it worked. It worked in India and it worked in US. Today, digital media also amplifies lies in a big way. Mainly because you can hide behind fake identity. So when internet was designed, two of my friends were key to it, Tim Berners-Lee, and I was on board with him at the Web Foundation, who designed the web, and Winton Cerf. And Winton is a close friend of mine. He's now at Google. When Wintons of the world designed the protocol for internet, it was a fixed line protocol. So the inherent idea was that since you are attached to a fixed line, it is easy to identify you. That San Pedro's home number is this, and that's San Pedro. But when mobile telephony came, now San Pedro is roaming. And you don't know where he is. So now I can begin to hide by taking another SIM card, by getting a temporary phone. As a result, my identity is hidden and I can lie. Just a few days ago, I had said something on media and all kinds of attacks on me in social media. So my daughter from US called me. She said, "Dad, are you okay?" I said, "What happened?" She said, "Is your blood pressure okay?" I said, "Yeah, what happened?" She said, "I've been reading all these tweets. People are saying you're this, you're that." I said, "They don't exist. These people who are saying literally don't exist. So don't worry about it." She said, "But they are there." I said, "Ignore them." Because I know how the system works. I don't read it. I don't pay any attention to it. Social media has created this fake news, which is a huge, huge challenge. So when you look at campaign in digital era, you have two parts to it. One is your workforce, party, all the way from the boss to district level people, state level people, district level people, booth level people. That entire hierarchy of workers is one piece of the puzzle in political campaign. So first you need a database of all of these people. Who are they? Where are they? What are they supposed to do? Ultimately, the ideal thing is to have 20, 30 people per booth. And if you take his numbers, 900 million people voting, million booth, 900 people on an average per booth. So if I had 20 people working per booth, I can request 20 to bring at least 50 to the booth. So I can use this digital infrastructure to really go all the way down to booth. I have GIS, I have maps, I know exactly where the booth is, I know all the homes, and I also know who live in that home, and I also know their background, community, age, education, and I can really zero in by target by target. So to every party worker I can say, these 50 people from these 30 homes is your responsibility, or 20 homes, or whatever. But we are not that disciplined. First of all, we can't really find 20 people for million booths. They don't exist, they are there, but nobody knows how to get them organized. But that is the power of digital media. How to organize workforce, how to distribute work, who does what to whom. Very big task that we tend to ignore because we tend to move on to entertainment, cartoons, misinformation, all that. That's another piece where you create content, you deliver content to the pipe, and that pipe ultimately should have 900 million people. But maybe you have 500 million because you have 500 million internet connections. So if you take that 500 million pipe and put content through it, you can reach out to them to really educate them on issues. But political campaigns are such that issues are sidelined and emotions take over. So when you look at the Trump and Modi idea, it is basically playing with the emotions. It is not playing with facts. Facts don't matter. I heard Prime Minister once say, we built 80 million toilets. I know, you cannot build 80 million toilets. But it just gets washed out and everybody says, great, great, great. Okay? So the real information can be manipulated because the real message is something people don't pay attention to, how message is packaged. So you hire PR agency, you hire media experts, and whenever we have debate on this in Congress party, I remind everybody, did Mahatma Gandhi ever hire PR agency? You have no need to hire, because his message was clear, he didn't have to package the message. Message was loud and clear. He himself was the message. When your content is bad, you need to package it. When your content is clear, you don't need to package it. So today, for example, in Congress party, and I hope you don't mind my sharing this, tradition has been that you hire one ad agency and you give them everything and they do all the work. And when we started looking at digital era, we said, no, you cannot have one ad agency. And we have to fight like hell in the system. We want digital people different than traditional people. In traditional, we want somebody making posters. We want somebody else making content. We want somebody else. So you take this big idea and break it up into small pieces. And you execute very differently in digital era. You don't execute that idea the way you executed in the traditional era. In digital, not only you need people who create content, but you also need people who analyze content and decide who gets what. Today, everybody gets same information. You need to target. You don't want to send farmer foreign investment information. Nor do you want to send information on foreign investment the other way around to students. So how do you channelize all this information to right people is a piece of art. It's called micro-targeting. Micro-targeting itself is a technology. That you analyze this and you say, okay, that information automatically goes to this group and not that group. All of these are new ideas. But in the process, there is a lot of noise in the system. Too complicated. Too many messages are coming every day. I mean, I personally can't deal with 700 emails a day. I'm humanly not capable. And then somebody will say, I just sent you an email. I don't know who you are. I don't even know your name. Okay, and then say, oh, I sent you something last week and you haven't responded. I cannot respond. And they also expect instant response. In the mail, at least, you could delay it for a couple of days. Now somebody sent you an email and says, 30 minutes you have not responded? I have to eat. I have to take a shower. They assume that if you don't get a response in 2 minutes, you are not efficient. So the whole behavior has also changed as to how you respond to these things. We are living in an era where people want instant response, instant information. But information is packaged very different. It's all sound bites. Nobody has time to read anything. Nobody, I was just telling somebody before we came here that I met with a lot of youth Congress workers once. And they were all very keen, sir, we want training, we must be trained, how do we do this training on digital portal, all that stuff. So I said, look, can you do me a favor? Can you answer 2 questions? I said, one, have you read Discovery of India by Jawaharlal Nehru? Nobody had read one. Then I said, have you read Mahatma Gandhi's biography? He said, no. I said, go read that, then we'll talk. So don't give me all this digital tool and all this complicated stuff when you haven't handled your fundamentals. I think we have lost sight of this fundamentals. Many times when I hear PM and BJP others criticizing Nehru, I think of the man who wrote that book, Discovery of India, without Google. Without library, in the prison. I don't think today's leader can write 2 paragraphs like that. Okay. Look at the inner strength of the man. So I think you have these new tools, but you also need to focus on fundamentals. Today, new tools have become gimmicks. I see a lot of people getting so excited about some cartoon. But some fellow said something, it's cuckoo meme cartoons, and people are playing games, and they think big campaign is how interesting material you can create on social media. I think they're getting carried away. The message has to be simple. Message has to be more about truth. Message has to be relevant. So when we prepared manifesto, we said, how do we take this manifesto on social media? How do we convince people that these are the issues and not those? What you consider issues are not real issues. What you consider no issues are real issues. Real issue today is probably not what happened at the borders. Real issue today is jobs. Real issue today is economy. Real issue today is what do we do with our poor? What do we do with our farm? How do we improve productivity of farmers, and how do we get our farmers to get more income for their produce? So social media and digital era during political campaign is a very complex subject. And it depends on how you look at it. You look at it from the viewpoint of voters, candidate, party worker, entertainment, information, content, delivery, distribution, targeting. And I think we are still learning. We are not there yet. Now on top of that, we have interactive TV. So when interactive TV comes into it, essentially every candidate can have their own TV channel today. So if you have 550 candidates, for example, you have 550 television channels, live, 24 hours, today, on phone. What do you do with all this information? Do you really need all that stuff to decide what you want to vote? So you are really getting into micro targeting, micro issues, but you tend to lose the sight of the macro issue. Today's macro issues are very different. Today's macro issues relate to democracy. Some of us believe democracy is being hijacked. Some of us believe that the freedom of press is curtailed. Some of us believe that we have not created jobs. We have not improved education. Those are the real macro issues. And not who said what and who won this debate and what was the response. The question that is being asked of me for the last 3-4 days is, why is Rahul Gandhi contesting in Kerala? Big question for everybody. It's okay, it has happened in the past. If he decides to contest in 2 places, let him contest for that. But the media is such that they are constantly focused on this one young man for the last 10 years. Nothing that he could do is not open to criticism. If he starts scratching on the right side, people will say, why did he scratch on the right side? He should have scratched on the left side. And then there would be a national debate on it. And everybody would be in boxes seriously discussing, why did Rahul Gandhi do that? That is part of the problem with it. So I think I've said enough. I can probably go on and on, but let me just summarize and then we can open up for a little conversation. So one, you need a good voter list if you want to effectively use digital media. You need worker list. This meaning database, phone numbers, emails, their Twitter account and all of that. It's very complicated. Their Facebook page. 2, you need some history and analysis. Who are active, who are not active, what age group, what do they do. Then you need targeting. Then you need to create right content for right target. Then you need influencer. Who can influence this? If somebody has 10 billion followers, they can influence. If somebody has 500 followers, they can't influence. So if a sports leader who has 10 million followers says something, people pay attention. If ordinary people like us say something, nobody pays attention. You've got to define influencer, whether they are sports heroes, movie actors, political bosses, or whatever. Then you need hyper-personalization. Not just personalization, hyper-personalization. So people feel that you are dealing with me personally. I should feel connected with the candidate. The candidate is talking to me and he is having interactive communication. Then all the videos. Who makes videos? What do videos say? How long are the videos? And then surrogates. There are things you can't say, other people can say. So surrogates are very important in digital media. Surrogates sort of on behalf of you say things that you can't say. And all of this is very expensive, believe me. It is not simple. Somebody the other day said, Mr. Kutty, Congress is weak in social media compared to BJP. I said, I know that. You know why? On Facebook, they spend 20 crores and we spend 20 lakh. Don't require smartness, it requires cash. So don't tell me that we don't know what we are doing, but we know that we don't have as much cash as they have. So unless and until you put ad, you don't get the coverage. These are the realities of life. I've always said there is a golden rule, one who has gold makes the rule. We don't have enough gold right now. But we have to win. So we have ideas, we have passion. We have our heart in the right place. So when you look at this manifesto, I don't know how many of you have seen, this manifesto really goes into lots and lots of details. And these details have to go on social media, digital pipe, piece by piece, message by message, and get to the right people. I was in Mumbai yesterday, and one young lady came to me and she said, Mr. Petroda, I never thought I would vote for Congress. But this time I'm going to vote Congress. I said, what happened? She said, on page 15, which I didn't know, you have something about animal welfare. And I'm a great dog lover. And you have changed my life by saying that Congress party will take care of animal welfare. I'm pretty impressive. So she showed me the paragraph. There's the one line. She said, this means a lot. She said, I'm tweeting everybody. There are 50 million people in India who are animal lovers. She said, I'm just for next 30 days just telling everybody some little idea. Look at this small idea that's going to have huge impact in the minds of people because that's what they want. Similarly, environmentalists want to hear about environment. Somebody who has problem with water wants to hear about what you're going to do on water. But how do we do this micro-targeting and get to people is the challenge for us. With this, thank you for the time. Thank you and thank you for listening, and we can open up for a friendly conversation.
Thanks very much, Sam. This is Q&A session now. Those of you who want to ask a question, kindly raise your hand. The microphone will come to you. Then identify yourself and ask the question. And wait for
Don't run away.
I have edited Ramakrishna Frontline magazine.
Yes, sir.
I found something very interesting. I think the narrative is very interesting because you were trying to emphasize that when you do digital media, you also need to have your roots, your basics right. That somebody who does not know what discovery of India is, or Mahatma Gandhi's experience with truth is, he would not be able to do the kind of digital media that you want to do. And I think with your manifesto cover, the Congress has made a big hit. I'm not just talking about the content, but the cover itself. If you look at the covers of the manifestos of the Congress and the BJP, it's a very striking contrast. You have millions of people, the photograph of thousands of people on the cover of the Congress Party manifesto, while the BJP manifesto has just one man on the cover. I think that's a very huge difference that you make. Well, but again, as you said, digital media is complex and is full of multiple possibilities, and at the same time, it also has multiple pitfalls. But I hope that in the era of millennial socialism, Congress tries to bring back some of its Nehru and also look into the future.
Thank you. Thank you. How are you? Good to see you after a long time.
Really? Satish Bhushan. My issue is that when you're talking of digitalization and distribution, there's not much vulgarization going on at all. One is really very sad to read all that.
I agree.
Now, I understand that is also the contribution of Donald Trump. But here in India, it is increasing. Particularly, ever since Priyanka Gandhi Vadra has come into active power, that has happened. All kinds of abuses on vulgar. Do you have a strategy to counter that? Or is it possible to counter that?
See, when you hide behind
So you said
a
that,
wall,
you said that personality is
yeah.
very,
So when you hide behind
it's
a
a
wall,
virtual bird and
yeah, it's hard unless social media people, Facebooks of the world, have proper filters. They need to have proper filters. Okay. But it costs money. They don't want to do it. You see, the problem with social media, including Google today, is they get their revenue on clicks. So I'll give you one example. Today you tweet, he tweets that Sam Pitroda died by talking at this meeting. Just tweet. There'll be thousands of people clicking, "Bhi kya hua, kab se hua, my daughter," everyone will go panic for 2 hours. Then he can say, "Sam Pitroda was my dog."
that's what is happening with the
So then,
fake news.
some more people will think, say, "Hey, did you know that that was a dog, not real Sam Pitroda?" Okay? But by then, these guys have gotten, 50 million tweets or 50 million clicks. Their rates go up. We got 50 million clicks. They make more money. So they promote.
That's what's happening.
Absolutely they do.
First they break fake news, then they say the viral of the fake news.
Yes, yes.
That's what
But
they
let me tell you, I have said in US publicly that they hire people to create fake news. They don't accept it. Then you say that, they go wild when I say it. And I do this in US. Okay? It's a very serious issue. We have set up, 2 years ago, I got involved with some friends in Europe, and we set up a special thing called AAID. AAID. It's a group of about 20 of us fighting fake news at a global level. But it's a big battle, because we are fighting these guys whose market cap is 700 billion. Okay? And we are all sort of fatigued. To them, we don't matter. It's a very serious issue.
Yes, please.
Hello, my name is Nivedita and we are family friends of Shirley Auntie and Martin Kutty. I have a question in terms of being from a lay person, member of the public. The ethical issues are very clear in this, it seems, and the dilemmas seem to be clear. But what are the possible regulatory things to protect people like us from political campaigning in this digital age? From this kind of manipulation?
You can opt to be out by not accepting. Option is yours. You don't have a Twitter account, you don't have a Facebook account.
Like me.
Yeah, so that's perfectly normal. That's perfectly acceptable. Okay,
That's the only option.
that's the only option. But you see, a lot of young people have these accounts because they say, "Oh, I went to a party." They are sort of exposing themselves, telling their friends, "I went on a vacation to Hawaii and did this and did that." You and I may not have to do that. We are not interested in exposing our personal life to public. Okay. I'll tell you, in US, in the early days of Facebook, people talk about this for drink, that for drink, and then people found out that when they hire you, they check your Facebook account and they find out all the bragging you were doing. And they say, "Hey, that guy is not reliable." So sometimes it bites you back.
Yes, please.
So you can, I'm sorry. I hope I answered your question.
It seems like it's the dark side and there is no option.
Absolutely. Very true. Very true. Absolutely true. What options you have? You want to participate, you want to play that game, that's part of the price you pay. Yes.
So my name is Sanjita. I'm part of the Congress Social Media Influencers group. And I write a lot, I write a column on Daily O, and people who are aware of the Twitter communication, they would probably know me because I'm all the time out there fighting with the trolls. But, and I'm like, just today I was, after the press conference in the morning, immediately after the BJP press conference, there was a Congress press conference blacked out by the media. It's happening every day. Yesterday the song was released, immediately the BJP song was released, every media played the BJP song but blacked out, the Congress song blacked out. So it's just so frustrating. And today I'm someone also a very old social media user. I've been using Twitter and all from the time people didn't know about it for 12 years. So I know this medium thoroughly. And today I am so frustrated that I devising ways for political parties, particularly Congress, to how to counter the TV blacking out us, and then we reach out to the audience countering the TV. But here I have a question for you, because you have seen the change from those from Rajiv Gandhi days. How long is then social media or Facebook, Twitter going to be in this? Is going to be a big player and are not going to be replaced by someone new? I mean, this is a big question. Today we are investing all our energy in understanding how to deal with the social media, which is Facebook and Twitter primarily, and also maybe Instagram and YouTube. But I mean, tomorrow these will be also, because technology is rapidly changing. So I think as a paradigm shift, where are we heading in the next election maybe? That's a big question.
I see a day where you have everything integrated, and I would like to see a day where there is local Facebook, local Twitter, not a complicated thing. You can do it in 6 months. That's what Chinese did. But are you willing to really back local entrepreneurs? Because to get that coverage will require huge effort. Because everybody is used to Facebook, everybody is used to this. We made a mistake. And 10 years ago, I talked about local Twitter and local Facebook. You could design it, not a big deal. But you don't get the kind of support Chinese get from the local government. If we had, local Facebook would be worth 300 billion. You look at the Facebook and see what is the Indian base. Look at WhatsApp. Look at Twitter and see how many Indian customers. If you look at their market cap, let's say Facebook has a market cap of, take a number, 800 billion. If 20% of the users are Indian, 20% of 80 billion, 800 billion, 160 billion, what did you get? 0. That's a separate conversation.
Neela. I'm a digital anthropologist, and I've been studying digital media spaces for 2 years now.
Great.
So my question basically is that how extreme speech, the boundaries of extreme speech are being stretched, and how they are incorporated into political campaign itself. If you could elaborate on that. Because the speech is becoming more and more extreme on all sides of spectrum. So it's not just right. So how to see that and how to counter that? You have some ideas?
I may not be qualified really to answer that, but I'll try. Okay. See, at the end of the day, what kind of a person you are, that matters. If you start abusing me, would I start abusing you same way? Or I would decide at some point in time, it's enough. I don't need to on that stuff. I was born in 1942. So I'm more Gandhian in my ways, because that's how I was brought up. Gujarati family, poor family. So I have my own standards. Not that I'm right and somebody else is wrong. But I may not play that personal game. I've never used 4-letter word in my life. Never. Never at all. Okay. Is that a good thing? Probably not. Okay. But that's the way it is. So if you use that, I would have nothing to do with it. Okay. So it all depends on setting your own boundaries. Somebody can stretch and drag you there. You got to make that decision. Of course I get mad. I'm a normal human being. Of course I get irritated. But I never use abusive language. I will not go there. Okay. No matter what you do. Okay. I believe in non-violence. You may not believe in it, it's okay. Somebody says, hit that guy. I can't remember hitting anybody in my life. I'm 77-year-old. Haven't hit anybody. There's no need. So it all depends on your personal boundary.
So we are living in times, I'm Shantanu Datta, representing civil society. We are living in times where we have more or less written off news on television. We have just been talking about how Twitter, Facebook, etc. manipulatable and are manipulated. However, a new kind of online journalism has also emerged in the last couple of years. via print
Yeah.
and scroll.
Great.
So
Thanks. Thanks
what
for.
would be you would see as their role?
I think they have a huge role to play. I'm delighted that you reminded us of them. It is my mistake that I did not cover them. I should have covered them. It just skipped my mind. And thank you for reminding us. Absolutely great contribution they are all making. Scroll, Twin, and then Wire. Those three I know, there must be more. And they are doing a great job. Okay? No question about it. And we need more of that. Okay?
Madam Secretary, work in telecom is a privilege to work with Sam. I have a very direct question to Sam. That with all the big bets that we got from the days of C0 to now, what motivates you to keep coming and working? That is one question. And the other, which is more serious question, is that like the US in which they predicted, the data analytics predicted the victory of Donald Trump. Although everybody was saying that, really to get, do you think that it is possible at this stage to predict who will win? Like 2004, if you remember, everybody was predicting that FLG will win, but then it didn't happen that way. So I have this question.
First question, maybe I can answer, which is a personal question. I don't have anything to do. I'm 77-year-old. I like to be busy. And I think this country has given me a lot. Rajiv Gandhi gave real meaning to my life by backing me up, giving me the political will required to do my job. Otherwise, I would have been just ordinary engineer. I got a chance because of his political will, all of us, you and me both, to do the things to change Indian communication system. Plus, I must remind everybody that I got my master's in physics in this country for $10. Go. Which country will give you that? Nobody. And I am thankful because my father had fourth grade education. He wasn't very rich. I had never used telephone before going to America. And I remind people that we had no telephone there. And if somebody had a telephone, he was too rich to be my friend. And how can you forget all that? So, I keep coming back. I don't have to. Nobody's asking me. But it's my moral duty. Sometimes I say that if Rajiv Gandhi would have been alive today, I would probably not do what I do. But since he is not alive, I feel morally responsible in my own way. That his unfinished dream needs to be carried forward. Personally. Second question, or what was the second
It is
question?
about
Prediction.
Prediction.
Interesting thing I find in India is that people don't tell you facts.
That's why Garrett told the Queen to go.
So in America, if you ask somebody, I would say that I don't know, I don't want to say, or this is what I say. And you can take that and cash it. In India, I found we have split level consciousness. We say what the other people want to hear, we turn around and say exactly opposite, and we are very comfortable. So you talk to somebody's house, how ho jayega? That doesn't mean ho jayega. Because he wants you to feel that ho jayega. Then he turns around and he does his own thing anyway. Okay? So that's why it's difficult, I think, to do real poll analysis in India. Maybe it will change over a period of time.
Lovely.
I
Hello,
heard.
good evening. I'm Dr. Lovely Ithadani. I'm a filmmaker, mostly work on social issues. I have two questions for you, sir. One, there is fear in the market that if BJP comes back, we may be heading towards dictatorship. Is that true, or what, how do you perceive it? And number two, why has our level of debate gone down? It's become so pathetic and so much of tutu meh that when you watch TV, you don't find anything intelligent happening. or any justice being done to the debate? Thank you.
Agree with both. Okay. I believe democracy is being hijacked. When people are afraid, you go talk to some business people and say, look, can you donate something to the party? Check. The guy says, look, as soon as I write you a check, somebody is going to come and raid my income tax. Guy will show up or something. And this is real fear. I'm talking about 10 out of 10 people I have talked to.
Exactly. Exactly.
See, now that's a fear. How can you do that? I mean, these are important businessmen. They are also afraid. So there is something is going on. Okay? We are all, I speak loudly because I don't have to worry. Nothing, you can't do anything to me. My daughter called me once and Dad, why are you saying this thing? They'll put you in jail. I said, you will see me in jail then. It's a big deal now. Somebody has to speak up. You got to have courage. I think we have lost that courage to speak up. Saying, how can two people just take us all for a ride? Apparently everybody is okay, right? Doesn't bother anybody. Okay? So we are a nation where people have enjoyed democracy. We are a diversity. We love each other. We live together for a long time. The beauty of India is Indian diversity. I say this nowadays quite often. When I was growing up, dosa was not known in Gujarat in 50s. So eating dosa was considered something very interesting. Now dosa is a national dish. That is the beauty of India. Okay. You can go anywhere, you can work anywhere, you will see Sardarji, speaking better Gujarati than I speak. Okay, in Gujarat. And when you attack that core of Indian idea, we all worry. Inclusion, diversity, democracy, freedom. So we are all worried. Okay.
And
Level of debate is pretty bad. It's pathetic.
so can we raise it when Congress raise the level of debate?
But media people, not that everybody is bad. You can't say this for everybody, but large number of people don't give you space to have a meaningful conversation. As soon as you say something, they just attack. What about this? What about that? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. So what do you do?
Yes, please.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. My name is Larry Abraham. So I'm working for an NGO and I own a small NGO. So I just want 2 points to mention. One thing, first of all, I would like to appreciate Congress for talking more about solutions rather than talking about problems. And next one is a suggestion. Now the youth is totally misled by the social media. So I hope the solution is on self-awareness to make them decide what's wrong and what's right. So I think we have to change the education system for that. So can we do anything on this?
Right now, we need to focus on next 30 days. Okay? Education system and all, we'll worry about that later on. If we don't come to power, you can forget about a lot of these things. Okay? So right now, the key, from my perspective, it doesn't have to be from everybody's perspective. From my perspective, how do I convince people that this is the roadmap for the nation? And we will get it done. Guaranteed. Not 100%, 80% for sure. And we need your help to get it done also. This is good for all of us. It's not just good for me. It's good for my poor, it's good for my children, it's good for our older people, it's good for our farmer, it's good for our fishermen, it's good for our small entrepreneur. And we all have to work together to get this done. It is really the voice of the people of India. And that's why we went out and talked to everybody. It is not what Congress wants to do. It is what people want to get done. And that's where we are today. If we don't get elected, why worry about education at all?
I'm good evening, sir. Kishore Babu from World Focus. You started the C.Dot movement and put computer into a way of life for many people. It has been carried forward now by Prime Minister Modi. How far has it gone and how far do you think it should be going?
See, Genie is out of the bag. We have 1.2 billion phones, young people will get it done. That is done. Can we do the same thing to farm? Can we do the same thing to education? Can we do the same thing to digital health and health? Can we do the same thing to power? That is the challenge for us. Digital India, whether it's a little behind 2 months, 6 months, really don't matter. So I stopped paying attention to that. Okay? It's on autopilot. Our entrepreneurs, our young people have taken over. They are talented enough if you put things on track to take it forward. But somebody has to plant seeds. In Rajiv Gandhi's time, we had a mission on oil seeds. We were importing $1 billion worth of oil, edible oil. I was shocked to learn that today, in 2018, we imported 82,000 crore worth of cooking oil. Can you imagine that number? We have enough land to grow mustard, rapeseed, soybean, palm oil. If we do that, we can reduce that import to zero and we can create 10 million new jobs. Why isn't that happening? Same way we are importing 4,000 crore worth of ketchup and pulp from China, tomato. Our tomatoes are thrown on the street. Can we create jobs there? Nobody has paid attention to all this because everybody is into gimmicks. Everybody is into promotion, everybody is on wrong track. This is the work in front of us. And I'm sure, I was driving in Mumbai yesterday and you see a lot of buildings half done. So I asked somebody, I said, I don't see any workers in all of these buildings. What's the problem? Because nobody is getting loans anymore. So everything is at standstill, construction is at standstill. How do you solve that problem? These are the challenges for us right now.
Yeah.
I would have a question about what you mentioned about micro-targeting. My name is Karishma, I'm a reporter. I'm wondering how much of the micro-targeting in the Congress Party is happening internally and how much is being outsourced to other companies?
I think there is one company that we are working with and they are learning more micro-targeting and there is another company we are talking about to get some consulting help. Two, I would say.
So internally nothing's happening?
Internally, data is ours. All the other stuff is ours. We have the database, we have the sort of segmentation, we know that these candidates are going to win, these candidates are going to lose, don't focus on this is the middle, focus on that. So all that comes from us. Okay? The techniques come from somebody else. But the intelligence has to come from us. So it's a sort of joint effort. They can't live without us and we can't live without them right now.
Before we conclude, I just want to, somebody has a question, I'm sorry. Yeah, please.
I'm a professor of computer science. My name is Sanjeeva Prasad. I'm a professor of computer science at IIT Delhi. And my question goes back to education and health and so on, and in particular, the use of the knowledge network, which I would like you to comment. And there are two books of yours which are lying on my table. One is with Carl Nalamu, and the other the design book with Patrick. So I'm waiting to find time to read them. But I'd like you to comment about the possibilities with the knowledge network, because I think our young people are just, frittering away their lives not getting knowledge, but instead getting information.
Thank you very much for the question. Professor is really referring to a network that we built during Manmohan Singh's time that nobody knows about. We spent almost $4 billion in building a 40 gigabit bandwidth fiber optics network to connect 1100 nodes, to connect all our universities, ultimately all our libraries and all our R&D institutions. That network is also connected to US, connected to Europe, and now we are trying to expand it to Bangladesh and others. The idea was to really provide SARC, expertise to connect all the knowledge people. It is a very powerful network. It is also used now for e-governance. No one ever talks about it. No one has any understanding. You can Google it. Okay. I've never seen any TV discussion or any debate on it. It is one of the most powerful ideas that we implemented during Manmohan Singh's time. And we had almost 30, 40 experts like him who worked together in the background to define it, to design it, and implement it. Without making any fuss, Manmohan Singh did not take credit for it. He did not inaugurate it. Okay? He did not say that I designed it. Okay? And then people tell us, you guys are not promoting yourself. You are in the business of doing things, but your job is not to promote yourself. Your job is to do what you are supposed to do. People want you to do things. Okay? So it's important that we have created that knowledge network. Students don't use it very effectively. That was one. What was the other comment?
Well, for the healthcare as well.
Huh. So we did the same thing for the health to some extent. See, one of the problems in US and other countries is you have too many electronic health record starters. Because there, IBM, Oracle, everybody is pushing their product. So you have multiple standards. Like we found that in US, you have 1200 databases in the government and different centers. So when we designed our e-governance, we said there will be 4 data centers. Delhi, Hyderabad, Bhubaneswar, and Pune. But then each state said they also want database of their own, which they really don't need. But rather than fighting the political battle with the chief minister, we said give them their own database. So we don't have to deal with 1200 database because we started late. So in health, we spent 2 years talking to all the major institutions, hospitals, and finally created our own standards on electronic health records. Ultimately, we would like to see digital health on this, where all your health records are available to you, because world over there is an issue on who owns the record. We would like to make sure that the patient owns the record. We have a large genetic pool, the best genetic pool anybody can have in the world. If we take that genetic pool, we can monetize it. But when a pharmaceutical company takes my health data and discovers a drug, I don't get anything out of it. They make $50 billion. So we would like to evolve a system ultimately where we can monetize patient health record. So all kinds of interesting ideas we are working on. Please. Please bring it.
My name is Narayan, and I work for German television. I wanted to ask you, this agriculture is a big issue now, the lack of jobs in the agriculture sector. So what is your solution? Do you think that we can accommodate 60 crores of people in the farming sector? Do you need this much of people to produce what we are producing right now? And
I don't think we should look at farming as the only area to create work, because it is very expensive to create one job in agriculture. Most expensive because of the price of the land. Cheapest way to create job is construction. The amount of investment required to create one job is lowest in construction. We need large number of housing projects. We could be busy, according to me, for next 10 years building homes for our people, better homes. bigger homes, comfortable homes. That is one area of employment generation. Second area is education. Third area is health. Because in our country also population will age at some point in time. You know, we are all getting old and you need health workers. Problem world over, in Western world, is health worker. I can tell you US needs today 500,000 nurses, they don't have. So I think construction, education, health is probably far ahead of agriculture and creating jobs. The need in agriculture is to improve income of our farmer, more so than creating new jobs. Of course, you have to create new jobs by focusing on oil seeds, by better distribution, better delivery, better food processing. You got to look at the food chain and not just farm. Now, you'll be surprised to know that 40% of the food is wasted in developing countries before it goes to table, and in developed country after it goes to table. Same number. You can Google it and find out. Pretty interesting statistics. So we need to work on all of these issues. And today we have surplus food, but we have 200 people who are hungry. 200 million are hungry. We have malnourished people. So these are the challenges, and that's where technology will come in handy, big data, analytics will all come in handy.
Friends, I want to divert here for a bit.
Thank you.
How many digital families here? I work with Madhuri and with Madhuri. I need to know, we need to know how many voters are numbered that the last voted.
90 million people would be voting for the first time during this election.
90 million.
I want to divert here. I want to divert here for a bit. 40 years ago, a 19-year-old young man came to India to learn English, and he ended up spending the rest of his life in India. His name is Dr. Weil Award, and tomorrow it will be 40 years since he lives in India. I'll say something. Give the microphone.
Sorry, it wasn't the occasion, but nice to see Mr. Salman again in the press club. Thank you very much, Venkat. It was a surprise for me. Yes, tomorrow is the day actually. That's why I'm trying to look younger today. So. Thank you very much. Yes, I came to India in 1979, and many people keep on asking me the questions why you stayed back in India. I came for a small course under the exchange program, Indo-Syrian Cultural Exchange Program. Then I made India my home, and I stayed back. So whenever the question comes, he said, "Do you miss home?" Well, I always tell them that his home is like the mother, and India is my wife. So I learn out here, grow my children. But my heart is still at home, and I love my mother. So I have to love my country, Syria. And speaking of the digital media as well, I mean, when I came to India, we used to spend 24 hours in the Janpat post office to make a telephone call to speak to my mother. Now with digital India, I can speak any moment and I can communicate. Thank you very much. Sorry, it's not the platform, but thank you, Venkat, for remembering me. Thank you.